loved by the losers that lift us up. Deliver us now from the madness and all of the feelings that fucked us up. Well, I got no change in my pockets, 'cause nobody carries cash anymore, and I'm sick of all of the nonsense. Where do I turn? Well, I can't be sure. Well, I've heard it's a bed of roses, but I won't know till I leave. Sleeping Beauty don't notice what she doesn't feel or see. Do I use the appropriate phrases? Do I toe the political line? Do I make up all of these faces and pretend that one of them's mine? Stand up, lie down, it's a circus, but nobody caged us. We built our own cages, convinced from birth we deserve this. Blood for the gods of a long lost age. And here in a house of mirrors that shows us everyone else, maybe we'll appear if we put labels on ourselves. Well, I've never been kicked or pushed around for the lovers I let in. Nobody murdered my father or mother for the color of their skin. So here's to a watertight worldview. I've patched all the holes, still I can't make it float. For the stranger who gave me his coat in the rain would kill for another man's coat. Yeah, the stranger who gave me his coat in the rain would kill for another man's coat. And I've heard it's a bed of roses, but I won't know till I leave. Sleeping Beauty don't notice what she cannot feel or see.
Introduce. Hello there. I'm Mark Anderson with Chattown Stages, and we are sitting here with one of the finalists for the 2021 Songwriters Stage, Ida York. And we just heard her song, what's the title? Madness. And oh my gosh, Ida. Whew. That is an intense song, young lady. That is, blew me away. And what a unique style you have. So let's see, should we talk about the song first or about you and your style? Who's your, I'll just
talk about the song first, that's fine.
The song is, where did it come from? What inspired that? Were you having? Go ahead.
Oh, well, I guess mostly growing up in a really rural area, mostly like being friends with everybody and realizing that like all people, no matter how bigoted or how narrow-minded or how whatever it is, nobody's all good or all bad. And trying to reconcile, that's part of it, trying to reconcile people with their shadow side and knowing that every human being is capable of every possible emotion or action given a certain circumstances, I guess.
That's a huge, and you mentioned the watertight worldview. So those of us who know some religious talk about those kinds of things, that's one of the phrases they use. And
is it really?
Yeah, the worldview thing, you know. And anyway, so in your growth, you're seeing humans, the good, the bad, and the ugly in all of us, and it's about human nature, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
That's what you were saying, if I hear you right.
Yeah.
But the way you describe it, I think there's a lot of things written about human nature, but each artist has it's not a new song then. many, I mean, Shakespeare wrote about human nature constantly, but
Well,
here's
yeah.
your take on it. And it's said in your beautiful way and in a very unique style. I got to ask you though, who do you like? Who influenced you?
I guess main influences are like, I like Bob Dylan, I like David Gray, I like the Foo Fighters, I like Stevie Nicks. I mean, I like so much music. I like a lot of pop actually. I'll listen to the radio a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you sound so Americana. I'm thinking Gillian Welch. Where's your country roots?
I have seen her once. She was my first live show. Some friends took me when I was 15 for my 15th birthday. And I do really like her, but I don't listen to nearly as many female artists as I should. I don't know why. But I have a lot of respect for her and people, in that genre, I guess.
Funny. I have so many female artists that I like, and I sometimes wonder, and the poetry I read is almost always female. I don't know why. So that's and where do you live? You live out near Sewanee, is that right?
Yeah, I live in Sewanee, more or less, about a mile, outside of the campus, a mile or two outside the campus is where I live.
Is that, you say you grew up in kind of a country setting or rural setting? Is that the area you're from?
Well, I was born in New Mexico, but I came here when I was like 3.5, and with like a small foray into Canada when I was a little older, pretty much here. But what happened is that since I was a working kid, so like I ended up being friends with people from all over, because the poorest county in the state is right next to the university. And so I got a job and I was actually working with, kids from the private school and from the school in the poorest county in the state. And it just gave me a window into just like how a lot of different types of people think.
Okay.
Trying to mix those friends was like trying to mix oil and water, but
Yeah, some really strong cultural differences.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to some of these lyrics. The first opening line, we were raised by the races, and I tried to write these down. I think next year I'm just going to ask all the songwriters to submit a written text. Have you thought about that? Do you ever, because this could be fascinating written, like in a poetry book.
Mm-hmm.
The
lyrics to this are actually online. I posted the lyrics on my Facebook the day before I posted the song. So they're on my Facebook, actually.
Is that your personal Facebook page, or do you have a Facebook professional page?
I have both, but they're on my personal, but I can send it to you.
Well, I think when we do this again, I like to be able to read these words more carefully. They're going like, it's the song you got to listen to again and again. So we were raised by the races. What's the end of that line? That
loved us.
That loved us.
Mm-hmm.
And harmed, no.
Loved by the losers that lift us up.
Wow. Loved by the losers that lift us up. Deliver us now from the madness. And the something that fucked us up or something.
All the feelings that fucked us up, yeah.
Okay. Then you go through just quickly, and it's a unique song. Maybe that's your style. You don't do just so traditional. For, verse, chorus, it's a very long verse, I guess. And then you hit this chorus, you slow down, bed of roses, sleeping beauty that don't notice what she cannot feel or see. I can't quote the whole chorus there. How does the chorus that?
Says, I've heard it's a bed of roses, but I won't know till I leave. Sleeping beauty doesn't notice what she doesn't feel or see.
Right. And that's repeated at the end.
It's changed actually. It's the
It
same
changes.
melody, but yeah, but it's different words.
Okay. At the end, it's rephrased at the end, a little bit different.
Oh no, at the very end, yeah, it is repeated at the very end of the song. You're right about that. Sorry, I forgot.
And then you slow down and you say, "Here in a house of mirrors." So there's another, slow down, listen, here in a house of mirrors. And I don't have all the lyrics in front of me, but so that's it's all fascinating. It really is a beautiful work of art. And I'll just say, all these finalists, 8 finalists, have just risen to the top. Maybe that's what the beauty of a contest is like.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you, it challenges you. And so I don't think we can have 8 winners. We're supposed to have 2 first place and 2 second place. And it's cruel, isn't it?
Very cool.
Let's say, hey, we're going to have 8 winners, split it up.
Right. Well, I like those competition shows. Like I probably shouldn't be admitting this on an interview, but like Project Runway and stuff like that. I love those shows because of that, because it brings out like those competitions bring out like all this cool stuff people didn't know they could do,
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck on that. What else now I've known you for a couple of these years because you drive into Chattanooga. What a year ago you were, before the COVID thing, you would do open mics, and I heard you were hosting your own near where you live, somewhere in.
I was. Unfortunately, the bar that I was hosting the open mic at closed, so I don't have an open mic up here anymore. But it's kind of allowed me to focus more energy on going to Chattanooga, because honestly, Chattanooga is the closest city, and I'm serious about this. This is what I want to do for my life, not just for, to me, it's fun, but it's not just for fun. It's like my passion. So I really don't think much is going to happen up here because the town is so small.
Well, you can do some good writing there and then bring it into Chattanooga. And I'm all about Chattanooga. I always think that Nashville is highly overrated, and we've got the best stuff here. And
I think again, once I get a foot in the door, the Chattanooga will work out real well. I do think so. Yeah.
Well, things are starting to happen here. Here it is, March 22nd, and there's a few places that are having small events, so you can. What about other professional steps here? Do you have some online albums? Do you sell your music anywhere?
So I have an album on YouTube that's quite old. It's called Autopsy, and all the songs from that are on YouTube, but it's from like almost 4 years ago now, 3 or 4 years ago. And then I have like a SoundCloud that has a bunch of my stuff on it, which there's a link to that on my artist page.
Okay, SoundCloud is your place.
Yeah, currently.
All right. Well, some interview. I need to thank our sponsors, Mountain Music. Yay, best little music town in Chattanooga, music store in Chattanooga, the small town of Chattanooga, and Soundcore, who's just done so much for us. That video that you just watched was recorded by the Soundcore staff in their studio there at it's on Station Street in the Choo Choo. So I thank you for spending some time with us, Ida, and
Thank you.
I like to say, I hope you win. But,
you can't say that.
I can't say that, can I? Good luck, because it's an intense song. You have such an intense style too. I mean, it's really, I think Gillian Welch would grab you and say, hey, little sister.
You think so? Good. I'm going to check her out some more.
All righty. Thank you. And I'm going to end the recording now.